Today we have Wealth Advisor Lead at Fisher Funds, Laura O'Reilly, with us, and she knows a lot about KiwiSaver. But when Laura first joined KiwiSaver back in 2008, at the start of her working life, that wasn't the case. So Laura is joining to talk to us about the things that she'd wished that she had known about KiwiSaver when she first joined up. Morena, let's go back to 2008 there. And what is one of the things, or some of the things that you wish you'd known when you first started?
Yeah, thanks. So when I first started KiwiSaver, it was pretty much still brand new. And at the time, I really hadn't had a lot of exposure to investing before. So like a lot of people, I didn't actually make an active choice when it came to my KiwiSaver provider. I was a default member.
Yeah.
And what that means is I was automatically allocated a KiwiSaver provider and automatically invested into the default strategy fund, which at the time was a conservative fund, which I now know was definitely not the right type of fund for me as someone who was so young. So if I was in that situation again today, I wouldn't just be making an assumption that because I was invested into something automatically, that it's definitely the best option for me. Instead, I'd be doing my research. So looking at different KiwiSaver providers, maybe getting advice, or certainly using some of those tools that are out there to help me choose a better fund for my age and for my goals at the time.
And I think, you talk about that because we're going way back to 2008 now. Is that just by being enrolled, at the time you go, right, cool, I've done my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, there's other things that you could have done previous to that could have helped you.
Of course, yeah, and hindsight's 20/20.
I know, not just. So if we go back to that then, things like saving small amounts regularly, I mean, that would have helped.
Yes, yeah, of course. So I really wish that I'd better understood just the value of time. So starting out, working part-time, the value of my actual contributions was pretty low. And it was easy just to look at the balance and think, okay, I'll worry about that once it's bigger, because right now it's not big enough to even matter. But what I understand now is that even though the value of what I was contributing was pretty low, the value of the time that I had to remain invested was actually worth a lot. And that is part of the power of investing. Even investing a small amount of money, but for a really long time, has great potential to grow, even compared to maybe a bigger amount of money invested later on. That's what we call compounding. So as your KiwiSaver grows, it's not just about earning a return on those contributions you've made. You've also got the potential to earn a return on top of those investment returns. So if I was someone in that kind of a position again today, what I'd be looking to do is just maximize all the potential of those early years by doing things like making sure I had the strategy with the right amount of growth for me, and potentially even looking to add additional funds here and there if I had extra cash available, just so I could have as much invested for as long as possible.
One of the other things that you talk about too is you went overseas for a little bit and then you stopped contributing.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one final thing I probably could have done better, is have more of a plan for that KiwiSaver when I went overseas. So obviously at the time I was really busy, I was building a career, I was exploring, and just sending money back home regularly wasn't top of mind. But what it meant was, although I did have my KiwiSaver invested, it wasn't getting the value of those small regular contributions, and I didn't get all of that compounding effect that we just spoke about. So knowing what I know now, my KiwiSaver is set up pretty differently. And once I got it on track, it was still actually really helpful when it came to buying a first home. But if I'd known then what I know now, potentially I could have got into that goal a lot sooner. And that's just why it's so important to have these conversations and share experiences so we can learn from each other.
Love it. Laura O'Reilly, Fisher Funds Senior Wealth Advisor. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.